Let me put my lip gloss on right quick.
All right, guys, it is a new year. Welcome back. It is Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. As we do each Tuesday, or we try to each Tuesday, it is time for conversations with Commodores. I almost forgot what we were doing here. Hey, Precious, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's so good to see you again. I know we've been catching up a little bit offline. But guys, what we're doing tonight, starting off the new year right, we are headed into an outstanding, exciting times for Vanderbilt Athletics. And there is no better place to start than talking about what's in the present and what is happening in the immediate future on campus. And so we've got Precious Birdsong with us tonight talking about Vandy United. But before we get there, you guys need to know a little bit about Precious. I know she doesn't necessarily tell a lot about herself, but you need to know how highly decorated this woman was as a softball player at MTSU. She was, tell me if I'm wrong, but you were also drafted for the professionals at one point a few
That's
years back.
correct. That's correct.
We are lucky to have you, and I'm so glad that you're representing Vandy United. I know that you are the assistant director or an assistant director at the National Commodore Club. And before we get to Vandy United, tell a little bit more about how you ended up at Vanderbilt and on campus in 2021 and what you're doing these days for the National Commodore Club.
So, first of all, thank you so much for having me on this show. I am extremely appreciative, extremely grateful to be able to speak about the great things that we're doing on campus and to collaborate with you. How I ended up on campus, it's very interesting just how things come full circle, right? So I was a graduate assistant back at Middle Tennessee, and I think it was probably 2018 when MTSU played Vanderbilt. And I drove up, and I was actually on the sideline of that football game
Oh,
inside of, it was Vanderbilt Stadium at the time, which is now First Bank Stadium,
mhm.
and took pictures on the sideline, the crowd, it was a nice crowd in the background, all that good stuff under the lights. It was beautiful. So my career then takes me to Cleveland, Ohio. It takes me to Arkansas, Little Rock, where I get my first full-time job, and I'm working in facilities and events at the time.
Mhm.
And in this industry, it's kind of small. It's about who you know, what you know, who knows you, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
And Tennessee's home for me. I was born and raised here in Tennessee, and I got someone sent me a message about an opportunity at Vanderbilt to come and work in their facilities and event management department. And I'm like, that's a no-brainer. The Nashville, the Middle Tennessee area is like a second home to me because I'm from Chattanooga, went to
Mhm.
school in Murfreesboro. So it's like I know that place almost like the back of my hand.
Mhm.
And I pursued the opportunity, and it was a great opportunity. They thought and felt that I was a good asset to join the team. And it was just amazing to see it come full circle because when I started in that position, I took a picture on the sideline inside,
Mhm.
at a football game, and just seeing the people do it, how it started versus how it's going. That
Mhm.
was the moment for me at that time. So that's how I made my way here in September of 2021. And it's been amazing. I've had great opportunities since I've been here. And since then, I've transitioned to the National Commodore Club with an opportunity. So I'm just excited. I'm ecstatic to be able to serve this department, to be able to serve these student athletes because they deserve it. And there's no place I'd rather be.
Well, we're very lucky to also have you and your enthusiasm on campus and Jess Neely and everywhere. But tell us, Precious, a little bit about your role at National Commodore Club, and then we'll transition to Vandy United.
Yeah, so I serving as one of the assistant directors, so I'm a frontline fundraiser.
Mhm.
And a lot of time when I call people, they
Mhm.
are you calling me for money?
Mhm.
Well, no, actually, I'm calling because I want you to know what we're doing. I want to get a better understanding of your interest in Vanderbilt, your interest in Vanderbilt athletics, your interest in the Nashville community, whatever it is that interests you.
Mhm.
And really, my job is to figure out a way to pair the two. You
Mhm.
know, my job is to figure out if you're interested in Gridiron Club. Okay, well, these are some things that we're doing with Gridiron Club. How can we pair the two to where you're making the impact that you want to make? You know, I'm never going to push an agenda on anyone. I simply want people to know and simply want to educate people the different opportunities, the different resources, and the good things that you can do to serve these young humans, you know, because I was once upon a time one of them. And so I never, like, when I was a student athlete, I didn't know what it was like that someone was out there raising money for me to attend college and get an education and play softball. I was just showing up.
Mhm.
And eventually I realized, wait, there really is someone that is raising money for this scholarship for me to compete and get an education. And so now I'm on the other side of that where I'm able to give back in that capacity. And there's no greater feeling than that.
Well, that is so crucial. It is so much needed, and we're so thankful again that you're doing this role, you and a few others, because all of us tonight who are on this call have been in the same spot as you. We
Mhm.
all represented our university and in athletics. We were all undergraduate students pursuing our degrees, and you're busy enough as an undergrad and doing all of those things because you're so programmed as to hopefully you've got your priorities in order and you've got certain things you got to get done timely. You don't worry or think about how the administrative side of things work, but it's conversations like we're having tonight that hopefully will educate folks just a little bit more, maybe appreciate just a little bit more of why what you're doing is so important. So Precious, let's shift over to Vandy United. Talk about your involvement with it and why every time I talk with you, you're so excited about what's going on with it. Because there's a lot to talk about here. So we'll take small chunks at the time.
Yeah, I like that approach there. So Vandy United it was, it's the big campaign that was kicked off, I believe it was early of 2021. And initially, it started with the North End Zone, the South End Zone, McGugin, football practice field, all that good stuff, right?
Mhm.
And essentially, like, this is something that we all know is well overdue, right? We all know that yeah, it's very much needed. And everyone's been asking for it for so long. You know, the community's been asking for it, the alumni, the donors, everyone's been asking. And so it's like, okay, well, yes, we're competing in a premier league.
Mhm.
We're a prestigious institution competing in that premier league. So what is it that what can we do to allow Vanderbilt to, you know, uphold to those standards, right? To the standards that not only we set upon ourselves, but that the league, the institution, all those stakeholders set upon us, Vandy United. So with this, the North End Zone, as many people can see, or if you have not seen, I would encourage you to go on YouTube. There's a live stream where you can literally see what's going on, like live footage of these projects, North End Zone, South End Zone, golf, everything that's currently under construction. You can see the live footage, but
I don't mean to interrupt you, but guys, I've posted those several times, so you can easily see those in the scroll feed of our group in the Facebook group, or you can go straight to YouTube itself and go to Vandy Athletics and find it there as well.
yeah, it's really cool stuff. Like, it's really cool that you can see it. You know, you can see it from the moment that they started the utility work to
Mhm.
now they have 4 stories worth of steel in the north end zone. You know, and so that piece in itself is going to be the basketball operations center, 4 stories. Each basketball program will have their own suite, locker rooms, practice courts, all that good stuff. So that's simply basketball. In the interior of First Bank, there's a couple balconies there. There's, I think, what you would call, like, I think there's field level seating.
Mhm.
There's another club level. There's a lot of opportunities and a lot of areas for just getting that luxury and that premium experience inside of First Bank Stadium.
And those most recent renderings I've also posted in the group. So the folks in our group have seen those in the last, I don't know, 30, 40 days or so.
Yeah. And so since then, the South End Zone, they're making extremely great progress on the South End Zone as well. And so the North End Zone is slated to be completed by our first game on August 31st. The
Mhm.
South End Zone would probably, I don't think that there's a completion date just yet,
Mhm.
but 2025, and so First Bank will look completely different come
Mhm.
2025. And so that's the thing, is like we want to give our student athletes, our fans, our supporters, our alumni, everyone that supports Vanderbilt to its entirety, the opportunity to experience something that we've never experienced before.
Precious, I don't mean to skip around, but I've had several people ask me what's going to happen with McGugin? When is it going to be? When's that work start? And kind of, we haven't seen many renderings. I don't know if those are out yet, but what do you understand that those will look like?
So McGugin that is actually that's a piece where they're still working to finalize. I
Mhm.
know Dr. Candice Lee and Mark Carter and like Ed Higgins and a few other people from the university,
Mhm.
they go out and they have meetings. I believe it's in Kansas City with Populous and with some of the other
Mhm.
important stakeholders that are involved in Vandy United. And
Mhm.
so they're working extremely hard to finalize those plans. As it said, McGugin will, there'll still be the football side and think the football side towards Natchez and
Mhm.
then administration towards 25th.
Mhm.
That'll, we're expecting that one to be 4 stories as well. None of
Mhm.
the other renderings or anything are finalized, but like I said, Populous, they're working extremely hard along with our staff to finalize those. So we don't have at this time, not to my knowledge anyways,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any information that I could share that would be concrete right now.
And I assume as such, that work will be done after or toward the end of the stadium work being done.
I would think I would err on the side of that assumption.
Well, I know that folks are going to be very excited when we start to learn what those drawings and what that's going to ultimately play out. All right, let's back away from the construction for a few minutes and let's talk about why Vandy United is so unique. It's to my limited understanding, there's never been a project like this on campus. There's never been the agreement or the workings between the administration and the athletics department and other departments. And it seems like a very large, not just in numbers, not just money, but from a facility standpoint, a very large undertaking for a campus A that's very small, for a university that's very small. And I know this is our way of not only trying to survive, but also to try to thrive in our conference and nationally as well. So I guess from your standpoint, what is it that is so unique about Vandy United, and why should folks who are part of our group, football alums, get so jazzed about this and want to be involved in it in some way?
Yeah, so Vandy United is unique. I think for starters, we have a chancellor who supports it, who
Mm-hmm.
supports us. That's big at a university, at an institution, to have a chancellor, a president, the person that heads the school to be full on athletic, like let's go. And so that was like that was the what's the word I'm looking for? That was what we needed to be able to proceed and move forward with this, right? And we talked about how Vanderbilt is, a prestigious institution serving in a premier conference, and it's figuring out what can be done to uphold those standards, right? And so Vanda United, it presents us with an opportunity to literally across the board be one of the best in the conference. Once we finish all of these facilities, once we, get all the staff and all the other resources that we need to be able to serve these student athletes, we're striving for greatness here, and we hear Dr. Lee says it all the time, like we're here because we want to be great. We're here because we're striving, because we want to be the best and all of that good stuff. And so Vandy United gives us that. Like the projects that we're doing, it's no secret that when students come visit, they take their visits on campus, they're looking at the facilities, they're looking at the resources, and now with NIL and all that, we're not even going to get into that piece. But they're looking at these things, and we want to be able to present them with the top tier first class facilities that they're seeking, with them knowing you come here, not only is this your home, but you're going to get everything that you need to be successful. To be successful while you're here, while you're in the classroom learning, while you're competing on the playing surface. And then when you go out into the real world, that's the biggest thing. It's like the education, and you guys know this, the education and the tools and the resources that you get from Vanderbilt, it equips you like no other, right? And so I just think with Vandy United, it gives the community an opportunity to just come together to contribute to something that is so much bigger, to with serving these student athletes and just giving that first class experience. It's literally that simple. We're coming together and we're serving.
Well, it's also very exciting. I know we're a couple of years into the project. We got a few more years to go, but it's not just that we got new facilities that are on their way. It's a renewed enthusiasm, I think, throughout the campus, throughout just Neely.
Mhm.
And we've got so many great programs, not to get off of what you're talking about, but I've had Allison Wenzel on, and she's talked about the Ingram Center for
Yeah.
Student Athlete Success programs we certainly didn't have back in my day. I don't know if you had them at MTSU, but these programs, and I've seen the programming that's available for the student athletes. And I'm so impressed with things like that. And if I'm a parent who has a child who, whatever your sport, and you're thinking about Vanderbilt, gosh, it's the complete package. But I sound like a rah-rah, a cheerleader for the program, but that's just how enthusiastic I am. But Precious, let's say I want to come to campus and I'm a football alum, but I'm coming to campus and I see these renderings and things. Do you guys give tours? Are there any other interactions that you can actually take in person if I actually am on campus for something?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. So we do We do we do have tours available. It's kind of on a when available, like if personnels are available type deal. However, like I am always, if someone's on campus and I'm available, like call me, email me, like yes, we'll walk through and see everything. I wouldn't say everything actually, because the construction zones, hard hat areas, yeah, we're not
Yeah,
allowed in those
sure.
areas. But for as much as I can show you, I will. A lot of people in our department, for as much as we can show you, we will, because we want people to see like we're doing this, we're doing this thing. And I also like to touch on what you mentioned about the Ingram Center. Like that goes into the resources and the just the tools and everything that we're equipping these student athletes with. The Ingram Center is what they're doing is top tier. Okay. The opportunities that they are providing these student athletes, it's amazing. And no, I didn't have anything like that when I was competing in college. Um, we actually had some student athletes that took a service trip to Guatemala earlier, not this year, last year. And, they were able to serve and to just do different things to make a great impact over there. And it's very humbling, it's very humbling, and it's very exciting just to see that people who are making an impact here at Vanderbilt and with the Ingram Center are allowing these student athletes to go and make an impact elsewhere.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen, like I said, I saw programming like a calendar, if you will, that showed there was seminars you could take about how to deal with mental health issues around the holidays or leading up to finals, how to deal with or how to prepare for your first job interview. I mean, it could
Yeah.
go on and on and on, but it's just so impressive. And I know it's all part of the big plan of what's going on campus. And as we've got just a couple of more minutes, Precious, how can alums or folks who just want to be involved in some way actually get involved? How do they? And I put the link, by the way, to the Vandy United, the vucommodores.com slash Vandy United. So you guys can go there. But how can folks get involved either from making donations or being a somewhat of a, I don't know, representative, if you will, or just to promote more of what's going on? So share with us how folks can get off the sidelines and get into the game, so to speak.
I think you just hit it on the nail. Being an advocate, representing your alma mater, representing the place that you love and that you support, just knowing that where we're going right now is the time. Right
Mhm.
now is the time. There is no better time than right now to support Vanderbilt University because where we're going, once we get there, it's going to be a great feeling. And so the biggest thing is being an advocate and like you said, promoting and telling people like, hey, I know Vanderbilt was this and that before, but man, have you seen what they're doing over there? Have you talked to anybody from over there? They got some good stuff going on.
I
They
tell
really
you,
do.
I tell you, one program that's not waiting around is the women's basketball team.
Listen, listen. We are doing the thing right now. Right
I
now is
think
the time. Hop on.
I think
Hop
they're either
on.
15-1 or 16-1 and now ranked in the top 20, 25.
15 and 1. And yep, they
Yeah.
just came out to number 24 two-day ranking in the coaches poll.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're
Yes,
messing around. They're not waiting on anybody. So you better get on
right.
board now. But Precious, I know you and I could talk about this and pump it up for the next hour if we wanted to, but your enthusiasm alone is contagious. So I applaud what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep staying in touch with me so I can get the word out to the folks in our group. And I hope my next visit on campus, I'll be able to say hello and we can spend some time. But anything else that you want to share before we close for the night?
I will say, I will challenge everyone that's watching this, everyone that's on this call,
Mhm.
is to phone a friend,
Mhm.
phone a teammate, phone one person,
Mhm.
and just tell them one thing that you appreciate about Vanderbilt.
Mhm.
Tell them one thing that you've noticed about Vanderbilt. And you mentioned the word contagious, you'll
Mhm.
see how it just spreads, right? How the support just embraces, it enhances.
Yeah.
Like I would just challenge everyone to do that. And also you mentioned the website, vucommodores.edu slash did I say that right? vucommodores.com slash
Doc?
Vandy United
Yeah, there's no
and
edu. It's just vucommodores.com
dot
slash Vandy
com.
United.
Sorry, I was thinking of it's that one and then it's vu.edu slash Vandy United. So either of those that'll take you to the website to Vandy United, that'll take you to be able to see all the renderings, all the good stuff that's happening, and that'll also give you if you shall you please to make a gift towards the Vandy United Fund or any other fund that you choose, that'll give you the opportunity to do so as well.
And through that website, can folks find you or get in touch with you online that way?
Yeah, I think so. But we can put my email in the chat as well. That's precious.birdsong
All
at
right.
vanderbilt.edu. And it's literally how it sounds, like a bird singing a song. Oh, it's on the screen too, so.
This makes for great radio right here. Birdsong. Say it again. Precious at Birdsong. Precious
Precious
dot Birdsong.
at vanderbilt.edu.
All right. Vanderbilt.edu. All right. Got it. Well, Precious, as always, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your continued awesome work that you're doing for our beloved school. And I do hope to get to see you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Hey, let me know when you're on campus, all right? I look forward to seeing you.
Very good. And guys, every Tuesday night, we've got Pioneers Roundtable number 2 coming up next week, and it's going to be very informative. I know we got some well-known pioneers who are going to join us, and just keep coming back into the group. All kind of new information is posted every day. You guys anchor down.
Anchor down.